how can we override opinions that were fixed early on, especially at the time it was based on the best available information? Basically, what happens when people are done listening after they hear a certain guideline or recommendation? Anyone just chime in.
Yeah, masking would be a perfect example, right? I mean, and that's the very beginning. For those who are listening who may not have followed the ins and outs of the infection control data on this, the reason why you saw a huge difference in change in recommendation is because all of a sudden it was recognized that this disease could be transmitted when you don't have symptoms. So it's not like you could just know you have symptoms and that's when it will be transmitting, so you can just advise people to stay home. You actually had to advise people to protect themselves and others against this transmission, even when they themselves may not know that they had an infection. And so that was the change. The other was that I think that there was a lot of, we weren't ready. We weren't pandemic ready. There weren't enough masks. And at the very beginning, there was definitely a struggle of how many masks you had for healthcare workers to respond, because I know this was a struggle everywhere across the country. And that goes back to why we need to be ready so we don't get into this position where you have to choose between populations, right? And then it changed. But and the way, at least for me, the way that I've sort of approached that difference has changed is to talk about what changed, to explain what changed in science. What has worked against me as a physician, as a scientist talking about this, is that there are actually external forces that would say it was not nuanced, as someone else mentioned, I think, in conversation, where, again, this idea that evidence could change, and based on that evidence, you could change your mind, because there were external forces that were like, well, this person lied. How can you ever listen to them about anything else, right? And there were external forces that were muting my ability to say, well, look, this is what changed, and this is why the policy changed. I don't know if others had thoughts on that.